From Johan Blake inching towards Bolt's legacy with his last dance in 2024 to Erriyon Knighton possibly taking over as the youngest sprinter ever to cross Usain, the next fastest man alive has been revealed. It's no secret that Jamaican superstar Usain Bolt has made a name for himself in the world of track and field, but ever since he stepped down as the fastest sprinter ever, there's been a lot of speculation as to who will step into his shoes. Will it be his protege Johan Blake, or is it going to be up-and-coming rising star Erriyon Knighton? Well, lucky for you, I'm here to break it all down. Starting off with a guy you just can't help but root for, the one and only Johan Blake. Born on the 26th of December in 1989, this track and field star has been the talk of the town ever since he started running competitively and beat Usain Bolt. Not only is he one of the best when it comes to 100-meter sprints, Johan's also smashed multiple records when he ran a 200-meter distance. At the 2011 World Athletics Championships, he became the youngest 100-meter champion ever and scored a silver medal at the 2012 Olympic Games in London in the 100 and 200-meter races, repping his country's team, just behind the Jamaican Lightning Bolt. His times are unbelievably fast too. I mean, to run 100 meters within 9.75 seconds and then finish a 200-meter one in just under 19.44 seconds, that's the stuff of the legends. Not only does that make him the second fastest man ever in both categories, but together with Tyson Gay, the two share that title, with Blake's own personal best being a whopping 9.69 seconds for a 100-meter sprint on the 23rd of August in 2012. That sounds super impressive, no doubt, and that's why he's only behind Usain Bolt with a difference of a couple of milliseconds. Bolt's record timing of 9.58 seconds for 100 meters and then having a personal best of 19.19 seconds for 200-meter sprints are no joke. So, no matter how hard Johan tries, he just won't be able to get on that level unless he really gives it his best, and from the looks of it, since he plans to hang up his spikes at the 2024 Olympic Games in Paris, he doesn't have much time to take over Bolt's title. Although, if Johan's not going to take a shot at it, that doesn't mean that Noah Lyles can't. As one of the best sprinters of the modern day era, Lyles has proven time and again just how much of a quick learner he is. The American track and field sprinter was born in 1997 on the 18th of July and represented his country, the United States, at the 2014 Youth Olympic Games, where he won a gold medal in the 200 meters. He holds personal best times of 9.86 seconds for the 100 meters and a steady 19.31 for the 200 meters, making him the third fastest sprinter on the world's all-time list. In 2019, Lyles won a gold medal in not just the 200-meter sprint, but also scored one in the 4 into 100-meter relay as well, after which he became a 5-time Diamond League champion in that same year. Noah's also gotten a bronze medal at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, where he was only behind Andre DeGrasse and Kenny Bennerick. In his press conferences, Lyles has always had a confident persona. He absolutely dominated his fellow competitors at the Racers Grand Prix in Jamaica in 2023, where he clocked in a time of 19.67 seconds, well ahead of Britain's Jarnell Hughes, who came second place at 20.14 seconds. His achievements so far are proof that surpassing the Lightning Bolt in a couple of years won't be that big of a problem for him. After all, his current times are only milliseconds away from the 8-time Olympic winner. Speaking of smashing records, the same could be said about Richard Torpedo Thompson too. Born on June 7th, 1985, right in the heart of Trinidad, Thompson's gained quite a lot of traction after his personal best in 2014, where he finished a 100-meter sprint in 9.82 seconds in Port of Spain, Trinidad, and Tobago. His numbers aren't too shabby for 200-meter races either. In 2008, he ran the distance in 20.18 seconds, and it was around the same time when he had catapulted to popularity after coming second to Usain Bolt at the 2008 Beijing Olympics and taking home a bronze. Some fans do think that at 40 years old, Richard might have lost his charm, considering how his time of 38.63 seconds at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics was a little disappointing. But that still doesn't mean there aren't other athletes in the running for the next fastest man alive. Just take a look at Christian Coleman, for instance. At 26, there's not many people that can say that they're able to run as fast as Usain Bolt, but Coleman can definitely put up that argument, because with the personal best of 9.76 seconds in Qatar in 2019 for the 100-meter race, he's actually among the fastest people in the USA. The 2019 world champions also won gold as part of the men's 4 into 100-meter relay and is the world indoor record holder for 60 meters with 6.34 seconds. In 2020, he was briefly suspended from competing because of a missed drug test, and because of that, he was banned from sprinting until May 13th, 2022, making him miss the 2020 Summer Olympics. This does sound like he doesn't exactly have a clean record to compete with the likes of the legendary Bolt, but seeing how he's never tested positive for any performance-enhancing drugs, just like Usain, who's always run clean with the right numbers, Coleman could easily take the Jamaican spot if he's on the right track. But if you ask me, Botswana's Letsile Tebogo could also give Usain a run for his money too. In 2021, Tebogo became the first ever sprinter from Botswana to claim the 100-meter title at any World Championships level. Not only has he won a silver and a gold in both 100 and 200 meters at the 2021 and 2022 World Athletics Under-20 Championships, but he's also the youngest winner of the African Championships in athletics in the 200-meter category. As of 2023, Letsile holds the current World Under-20 title and also the Botswana national record for the 100 meters. This impressive sprinter was the first man from his country to break the 10-second barrier at the event, and in 2022, he also achieved his personal best. Finishing at 9.91 seconds, Tebogo was able to break his own record in the final of the World Under-20 Championships in Cali, Colombia. And considering how this happened only a couple of months after he clocked a time of 9.96 seconds earlier, it just shows how he's committed enough to prove his worth as a sprinter. At the end of the same race, Letsile got a little too carried away and celebrated his win 20 meters before the finish line, something a certain Jamaican superstar is notorious for. In 2008, when Usain was inches away from the finish line, he wingspanned his arms so wide, beating his chest, that people still remember that moment years later. So to think that this young sprinter who's already clocking super impressive times is more or less like an impression of Bolt makes me wonder if he's got what it takes to rise to the top. But if there's one guy who's probably Usain 2.0 at this point, then I guess Erriyon Knighton's a solid contender for being the next fastest man alive ever. An up and rising star, this 18-year-old has already got the entire world talking. The track athletics phenomenon had already achieved a sub-10 time in the men's 100 meters and has also become the first American teenager to ever run 200 meters under 20 seconds. While he might have ventured into track and field only in 2021, Knighton was actually outrunning the cornerbacks lined up against him during football practices. He was a wide receiver at Tampa Hillsborough High School and had his eyes set on joining the NFL. But then the pandemic happened and Knighton switched gears, focusing on his other passion track. In an interview with BBC Sport, the 18-year-old sprinter talked about how he'd only started running in 9th grade and how he never even knew what a 100 meter was before he switched his football cleats for spikes. But soon, he was able to dominate the 15 to 16-year-old age group and clocked a time of 20.33 seconds in the 200 meters at the AAU Junior Olympic Games. The Florida native then turned pro in January 2021 and dashed to 9.99 seconds, which unfortunately was illegal because of a high tailwind. Not letting that disappoint him, Knighton continued to break records left and right. In the final Olympic trials, he was able to top the 200-meter semifinals with a time of 19.91 seconds, beating world gold medalist Noah Lyles, who was coming in hot at his tail. Knighton's stats are proof that in a couple of years, we might see the next Bolt in him, but if you ask me, I think he's already there. So, from Erriyon Knighton possibly taking over as the youngest sprinter ever to cross Usain, to Yohan Blake inching towards Bolt's legacy with his last dance in 2024, that was all for the next fastest man alive revealed.